Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Tori, and this evening we are here for Motley Crew Chat number 54 with somebody that I have had on the channel before, just not for a Motley Crew Chat, and it's honestly a bit overdue, I feel like, for how long we've known each other. But I have my lovely friend, K.E. Andrews, here with me. We've known each other, I think, for like 4 years now, somewhere in there.
I feel like that's right. It was either 2023 or it was one of the Spippos.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2022.
I think it was 2022.
It was 2022. You're right.
Yeah, because that's kind of when I got it really into the indie community and started meeting everybody. It was the end of 2022. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy. I feel like the last, like, however many years is that? 4 years have been kind of a blur, clearly.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about really quickly at the beginning of the chat is you reached out to me a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and told me about your most current project, an anthology that's heading on to Kickstarter later this year. So I wanted to give you immediately some space to chat about just how that came about and who's in it with you and what your story's about. Because I've looked through the synopsis that's on the pre-launch page, but I don't know much about it beyond that. And for everybody watching, there's a link down in the description box. So as we're chatting, you guys can go click that and click the notify on launch button for the pre-launch, because more followers is always super helpful on a Kickstarter pre-launch. So the floor is yours, Katie.
All right. So the Rings of Anthology, or the Rings of Adventure Anthology, it is a mixture of fantasy, urban fantasy, a little bit of horror, and I was approached by Ro Bushy. It was his brainchild, although Mike Molman was also involved, but Ro was the one who really pushed it. And he just messaged me one day, because I'd been wondering, like, man, all these people are in anthologies. How do I do that? Do I need to stand on the side of the road and say, I'm ready to write a short story?
Thumb out.
I would like to be an anthology. And he messaged me on Twitter. He's like, hey, you want to be an anthology? I'm like, sure. Nice. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it, except for that the theme was about rings. So either a literal ring, metaphorical ring, whatever you interpret a ring. So we've had some people who have done literal rings, or like the ringing in your ear, or like the ring of a telephone, some elements. Yeah. So everyone took their own unique take on it. We started with, I think, 30 authors, and we're at 34.
Wow.
So they're 5,000 words each. So it's kind of like the Advent of Winter, where you get like a story a day in your inbox kind of thing. Yeah. Obviously, because there's 34 of us, it won't fit in a calendar month. And they're not really like holiday themed. Some people did like a little bit of wintry, but it is releasing in December. So just a bunch of different people collaborating. There's me, Ro, obviously, Mike, JCM Byrne is in it. Nice. Kane Williams is in it. There's just so many people. And some people, this is their first like written published piece. So we got a couple of debuts.
Okay.
So it's really exciting. I will say I've not been able to provide feedback on anyone's stuff, because I was in the middle of just all the edits, but I have seen all the cover art. So we're getting some nice cover art. Dimitri, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his last name, but Dimitri works with Mike really closely. So yeah, it's going to be a really cool project. We're going to get a lovely hardcover with a nice ribbon, foiling, color art in the inside. Cool. And I think one of the stretch goals is there's going to be audiobook narration when we reach that.
Awesome.
So my short story is called Midas's Hunger. So it was kind of, I'd written this nautical fantasy short story separately, but I want to do more in this world. It ended up a lot more horror than I realized. Until the end. So it's Phoenician-inspired world, and there's magic. Basic premises. There's people who can... ships are made out of bones, because people worship the trees and they don't cut down the trees. So that's what's in this world. So they have people who go out and hunt sea creatures to make the ships and everything. And there are some people who their magic is specifically tied to the bones. So they pull power from the elements from the bones, and they can also shape the bones into ships. So the captain
Cool.
of this one vessel, she is her magic is bones and stuff. So she's on the quest for this ghost ship that has like a lot of treasure. And she and her crew just set sail, and there's adventure along the way. And I won't spoil the ending because it's a very short story. But it's horror, apparently. So it's dark fantasy horror.
Love that.
So it was my first time kind of writing a nautical story, and I was like,
Cool.
oh, I've got this. I did have to cut it down a lot more because it was at about 6,000 words, and each of us were given like about 5,000.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a wide variety of stories. So it'll be a nice sampler.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
That's the coolest thing, is when you have a group of authors who are all given like a one word or a one concept, just to see how drastically different all of the stories are from each other. It's so cool to see how everybody's brains latch onto that differently. So yeah, that's really cool. And also, may I just say that we need more pirate fantasy in the world, please. So like nautical pirate fantasy. And I also find it very interesting that it sounds like you're still kind of on a little bit of that like horror / necromancy kick.
Yeah. I was just like, that sounds fun. I mean, there's other like elemental factors in this world as well, just because the trees give the people special abilities and everything. And I've not read the bone ships yet. That is going to be some research, because I was like, oh, bone ships. Oh wait, there's a book about that. But I was like, but it's different.
It is different. Yes.
So yes, I do use a literal ring in mine. So very like basic. Not the one ring, but it is a ring. So, yeah, I was hoping to expand this world a little bit more. So technically this story is more, not a morality tale, but it is a tale that's told in the larger expanded world about like this crew and everything. I will say it's a cautionary tale. So that
love that.
But I had a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. Well, and it's cool too, because, you know, so many people, especially in the fantasy genre, when you hear the word ring, obviously, like pretty much everybody is immediately going to think Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, you know, Frodo going into Mount Doom and all of this stuff. So I think it's really cool to take something that's like a super familiar motif and just see how many different ways we can go with it. I love that. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. We've got a bunch of people in the chat already who are going to check out the Kickstarter, which is awesome. T's in the chat. Hi, T.
Up to September 1st. I forgot that.
Okay, good. Yep. So pretty
September
soon,
1st.
Couple weeks. Let's see. Pete's in the chat. Pure Nightshade. Hello, everybody. Hi, Don.
Hi, Pete.
Let's see. Sarah Beth. Hello. Yes, another awesome Kickstarter anthology. It is such a great way to be able to taste test new authors and try a bunch of different styles of stories. A lot of the anthologies that have been coming out are doing, I think, a great job of really giving like nothing, no story is the same as another one in these anthologies, which is really cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited because the only other anthology I've been in, they were just like submitting your story and you didn't really get to interact with anyone. So this one's it's been fun chaos.
Yeah. So Rose having to herd author cats is what.
Yes. So that when they talk about it, it's really funny because Mike's like, I don't want to organize that, and Rose like, I'll do it.
They are kind of a package deal.
Yeah, we joked about like, oh, we could do a second anthology, and they're like, no.
Well, let's get through
this
one first. Yes. That's awesome. Yeah, I have been in anthologies. I've never organized one, and having watched people organize one, I'm like, you know what? You guys are so good at that. I'm really glad that I'm not having to do that side of the job.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pete, down in the description box below, there is in fact a link to this exact Kickstarter under a very helpful heading and everything. Pure Nightshade is also in the anthology. That's awesome.
That's right.
That's so
See, I'm
cool.
there's so many people. I'm like, I should know it. we have author channels on there, so it makes it helpful of like, here's who is who.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like,
having a Discord where everybody can chat and get to know each other. It's almost like a little mini found family that pops up around the anthology.
So many cool people I know and so many people I didn't know, so it's gonna be really fun.
Well, I'm trying to think other than yours. I have JCM Byrne on my shelves. I have Kane's book somewhere around here, which is actually, I think, one of my favorite indie covers to come out in the last few years.
That was a fun book to read.
So
it was
cool.
A really cool world.
Yeah, I'm excited to read this one.
I'm trying to see. Oh, Melissa Stone's in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Robert. I'm trying to think. Nick Fuller as well.
Okay.
Trying to think of some other names. Daniel Coolbaugh. I think I'm saying his name right.
That is a really cool last name.
Yeah. So it's a solid stack of people. So it'll be really fun when it comes out.
Yeah, well, and it's cool that you've got also a wide range of like experience levels. So you've got some debut authors, you've got some like people that have put out some books. That's awesome. Yeah, so everybody go down in the description box.
There we go, Melissa. I thought the art looked familiar.
Oh, yeah. That's you know what? Everybody across all the social platforms, I do my best to keep track of who everybody is with all their different usernames. But I should have also caught that because now that you say that, I do know that.
But yeah, I think
Wizard sabotaging.
Yeah, I think Wizard's reading some of the early drafts of it, and I think he was not ranking it, but I think he didn't stall out, but he got distracted because he read the first one. He's like, "Oh, I need to go read everything from this author."
That sounds right.
So,
yeah, yep.
But Janet Works is supposed to do the forewords, is what Mike said. So that is supposed to be. So we're excited.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we're starting to send out some arcs soon. I'm not sure timeline what that kind of looks like, but everyone's things are done to the best of my knowledge.
They are done?
Yes, everyone's stories should be together. I think we should have all the art. Maybe one or two pieces are still needing to be done.
Okay.
But pretty much all of us used Dimitri. I believe Melissa drew her own one, so she's got her own cover.
Cool.
I think it was Jose De Silva. We've used him for a couple of them.
Nice.
He's a new artist to me. But yeah, it's gonna be, the art looks really good for all the stories.
That's awesome. That's the fun part, is getting to collaborate with an artist and like seeing how, because we write in the theater of the mind, and so seeing it as a visual medium for the first time, you're just like, it's such a cool experience to be able to see that.
Oh yeah.
Grufe loved Hills of Heather and Bone. There's a reason that it was a SPIFBO finalist, guys. Hi, Britton.
Hello.
So Phoenician, okay, so talk to me about that, because that is not a historical influence you hear a ton of in fantasy. So like where does that come in for you as an influence?
So it really was, I was like, okay, I want to do something unique, but I wanted to kind of look at the best ancient seafaring race, cultures. So there were some in Asia and some of the minor islands, and like the Polynesians. I thought about that, but I was like, I don't really see much about Phoenicians. There's a lot of Greek, but Phoenicians, I was like, they were a good seafaring race. So just trying to pinpoint where at the height of their sailing, because I know nothing about boats really, which was great to have editors. So like that, I mean, that's a term, but that's not where that goes on the boat. I'm like, thanks. I know some things, but not all things. So just having to kind of study up on like, what kinds of boats do they use? Could this be used for long travel? How much fantasy elements can I mix in with this boat? So I was like, Phoenician sounds like kind of a cool time period to dive into and culture to explore. So that was more the reasoning. I was like, who were really good seafarers at the time? And I'm like, the Phoenicians. That's a fun one.
Well, that's the fun part too, is it lets us go down a rabbit hole of like historical research and learning about different eras and cultures and everything, which is, in my opinion, one of the fun parts about writing fantasy.
Oh yeah.
T likes it. Pete likes it.
Yay.
Everybody's excited.
Good. I've done my job. Thanks.
Pirates are one of my... So are they actually pirates, or are we like above board seafaring folk?
I mean, it's in this story, it's more of like they are kind of seafaring hunters. So their whole job is to go out, hunt the sea creatures, bring the bones back to the mainland, so the society can kind of thrive, because bones are the main building material for pretty much everything. And especially those who use them for magic. So that's been their kind of thing, but they are like treasure seekers in a sense. There is like a ship fight in there, kind of. But I think the main story will take place in this world. It'll be a little bit more gray lined of, well, we've got some true pirating, but not really. So it's more of like, this is our job, but we also like go and hunt other things down.
Yeah, there's a tiny streak of anti-hero in there.
Yeah, there's some morally great characters.
I love
there's
that.
some more. There's some great choices.
Great choices. Yeah, not regardless of where the characters land, the choices are definitely within a gray area.
Yeah.
Love that. Brad says swashbuckling, ringing of swords. That's
that
right.
would have been a good one. If I'd been really creative, I would have done that one.
There you go. See, T, this is the problem, especially when not only are you in the indie community, but you have a lot of friends who are authors. Like, I'm sure you can relate to, Katie, because we've talked about this before. The TBRs are like literally an ocean deep. Yeah. We're trying our best, you know?
It doesn't help that when I joined Fanfiatic, now I see like all the books. They're like, oh, does anyone want an arc of this? I'm like, I don't have time.
It's like putting a candy in front of children.
I'm like, stop releasing books for just like maybe a solid year.
Stop.
And
nobody
I can catch up.
Yeah, nobody write books the rest of the year.
No one write books, so I can catch up.
Yeah, Janny Wirtz forward. That's a big deal. That's exciting.
Yeah. So I'm hoping she really enjoys it all.
Yeah. Well, Janny's been so incredibly supportive of the indie community, and like I love that she's been so involved, and she's been reading so many people's books, and like what a legend, honestly.
Another set of books I need to get to. I have one of her books on my shelf, and I'm like, I will read it eventually.
Right. I know I've read her standalone To Ride Hell's Chasm, but I also have the omnibus for Cycle of Fire, and I think 3 or 4 books of her Wars of Light and Shadow. And there are too many books in the world, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah, honestly.
So, okay, Tia is talking about audiobooks down here. Are you a physical reader, audiobooks, ebooks? Do you have like a preferred format?
I prefer to read them only because sometimes when I'm listening to like a podcast, I will zone out and I'll be like, I don't know what happened. So if I'm really reading for plot, I really like a physical book. Ebooks are kind of like hit or miss for me. Like the longer the ebook is, the less focused I am. But there's something both about holding a physical book, especially a long book, and you can actually see your progress, not just the little number at the bottom. Because it's like, well, I've been at 54. I've been on 17% for like 3 months, it feels like. Especially when you get into the really long ones. So I think there's just something about reading a physical book that goes a lot faster for me. But maybe if I did like immersion where I can hear the audiobook and read it, it might help. But it's just like that's also needing time to do that. Yeah, I know audiobooks are still hit or miss for me. Sometimes I'm getting better. I am getting better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a physical book reader. I need, that's why I always tell people I feel bad because I don't accept review copies anymore unless it's somebody that I know really well. And people would say, well, I can just send you an ebook. And it's like, I promise you it will take me longer if it's an ebook, just because I don't reach for my Kindle as often as I probably should. Just because I have so many physical books. Yeah, I have the one on my phone, so I think that helps a little bit more because it's like as long as my phone is charged, it's with me. But it's just sometimes I'm like, do I have time to read? I don't know. Yeah, besides my own work.
Most of the time, too, I read the longest stints of time right before I go to bed. And so the problem with that is I found if I'm reading a book that is in any way, shape, or form complicated or like hard to remember names or anything, I find myself going back and like rereading as I'm trying not to fall asleep. And like, yeah. My husband is the same way, Brad. My husband reads a ton of audiobooks during work, and I am impressed with his ability to stay focused on both because I could not do that. Okay, so I want to know, as we kind of get into, we're going to talk a little bit about your work, and I want to know also what you've been reading and loving lately as kind of our intro question.
What have I been reading? Hold on.
Other than beta reads, because
and then other than reading, like editing reads.
Beta reads, yeah.
Yeah, most of what I've completed was from editing, so that's 4 solid books out of my TBR.
Wow.
Yeah, I really liked. So let's see. Moon Soul, I think is like my first like 5-star read of the year.
Okay.
It's a cozy sci-fi fantasy novella.
I have to look it up.
It had been around on my TBR for I was not sure what to expect when I read it, but for me, it really connected because it's about a burned out person who's like, I need to quit my job and find like really what I love. And I'm like, ooh, that was me last year. I got so burned out with my job that I'm like, I need to quit and do something else. So it just really emotionally resonated with me, which is what made it so much more enjoyable. And it's a sci-fi world, but it's like lower stakes sci-fi where it's like, okay, there's enough of a strangeness to know that this is not like our world, but it's not so heavy that it's like, I don't know what any of these terms are. I don't know what any of these races are. So it was a nice, like, I think if you're ever not a huge fan of sci-fi or you've never really done it, this is a good introductory one to kind of jump into. And it's a novella, so it went really fast.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'm just going to pop that name in the chat for anybody who's looking for it.
Yeah, I did read The Legend of that was fun by Aaron Hall. Death Show Colossus. I keep wanting to say Death Shadow Colossus.
Bill Adams.
Yeah. So I won that one, and I read it. It was really good. I did read Perils of the Past. That one, I think, was the most unique fantasy world building I've read in a long time. Like it's keeping me on my toes. I'm having to remember a lot, and it's all really cool. Like there were a lot of cool aspects to it. So yeah, I think that was Kane's debut, which made semi-finalist in Spiffbo, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. I didn't pay as much attention this last year as I should have, but I'm pretty sure that was a semi-finalist.
Yeah. So let me see. What else did I read that I really liked? But yeah, so I'm reading a couple more right now. Did I read Die Slow this year? Oh, I did. Oh, Die Slow by Morgan Shank. That was the second book in his trilogy, so I read that one.
Was the first one Die Young?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
I think it's Die Young. It's Die something.
Everybody's dying.
Everyone's dying. No one's happy. So that was that one I read. And then I'm reading a lot more nonfiction this time around.
Okay.
Just because I haven't spent a whole lot of time in the nonfiction, so I needed a nice little short break.
Brain break, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm currently reading fantasy-wise Joe's The Ashen Viper, so I have the arc of that.
John Lee.
Yeah. I was like, there's a lot of words in there. I was like, I know his first name and I know his last name. I'm like, what's in between?
Yeah.
So I'm reading
author friends, whoever,
Who are you? We'll just call you by your last name. And then The Tortured Kingdom by Brian Asher. So he had sent me that one, I think last year. So I'm finally getting to that because it's like, it's a nice shorter fantasy. Looks like Dungeons and Dragons vibes. So I'm excited to
that's whenever I am
kind of get into that,
chatting with somebody about you as an author, I always forget and I'll just say, oh yeah, my friend Katie, and she's really good at writing descriptions and she has this really, and they'll be like, who? I'm like K.E. Andrews. Sorry.
That's why there's 2 of us, or maybe
Yeah.
3 of us in the Discord, and we have
Yes,
differentiating.
with different qualifiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like
I
at
feel
work,
like you should change yours to author Katie, though.
I should.
You should, because you're just regular Katie in there right now.
That's what I've been. I'm not nuclear. I think that was the original joke.
Yeah.
It was nuclear Katie. I was like, well, I'm not nuclear, so I'm just regular.
I'm just regular human Katie. Yeah.
Non-radioactive.
Yeah. That's true. That was really funny. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we have anybody else in the Discord with the same name besides you two. I mean, there's Tori.
Close, but
Cat's close, but Tori Chevalier and I are both Tories, so there's that. That was weird. I wasn't expecting to have somebody else in the Discord that had the same name as me.
Well, at work that we had Katie the intern, so when I started, they just gave me her email because it was easier than having to create a new one. And she was so horribly confused for a couple of weeks. I'm so sorry. Here's your new email. It is your email, but it's now me. So.
Melissa's reading almost entirely audio these days. Hey, you know what? Whatever works for you is what I recommend. Yep, love that. And there's some really good audiobook narrators that have been going around the indie space. So there's some good ones. Well, thanks, Brad. Hope you enjoyed it.
It was good. That was also a good one. I did not read it this year, but
I did. Yeah. Well, I think we read. Didn't we kind of swap fantasy Western books?
We might have.
Because we were writing about the same time, I think, Cold Silver and Wild Skies.
Because my Wild Skies released, I think that was 2024 November. So I think. Right. I'm so
Cold
bad.
Silver was May of 2025.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so pretty close. Chuck Wendig, I have heard so much about him as an author. I feel like Andrew Wizard is a big fan of Chuck Wendig. That sounds familiar. Easy. Okay, so I want to ask a random question about Hills of Heather and Bone. We're going to dig into some of your well-known books, and I'm going to ask you. Maybe I'll start with this one because I asked you backstage, but I feel like this was a good question that I wanted to include in the official chat too. You obviously have a SPIFBO finalist book with Hills of Heather and Bone, which is behind my head, unhelpfully. And Assassin of Grins and Secrets is probably the one that, like, besides that, you're most well known for. Do you feel like the books that you are getting out in front of the most people are the ones that deserve the most attention? Do you feel like there's a book from your canon that's kind of still working on finding an audience or deserves a little bit more attention?
Yeah, so I think Hills has found its audience and it's doing steadily well. Like, I don't really have to do much to promote it. I'm just like, here's the book. And then it seems it's a solid book and it seems to find its own audience because it's also a standalone. It's it kind of drifts into romantasy, not really, but it is that mixture. Assassins kind of had a resurgence once I put out the second book, so that was really nice to see, like, people reading it and picking it up or asking me questions about it. And then Wild Skies has just been kind of hanging out and chilling. It's more, I mean, it has a specific audience, but also there's no second book in the series yet, and I also haven't really done much to promote it. So it could do better, I think, but like we've talked about, fantasy Western is a kind of a niche.
It's still growing.
It's still growing. So I think, like, the more I'm able to do with that, and once I get, like, a second book out in that series, like, it'll probably do better. I've seen that, and I've heard that's usually the formula to do. So, I mean, I've also not put much effort into marketing this year, so that has also...
You've had a few things on your plate.
Yeah. So, can you please read it? Other than that, I'm just like, they're just existing until I got the brain power to do any sort of social media. So I think they've been finding their audiences, and I think Hills was the more surprising one, just the amount of people who read it. At TBR Con, David Hopkins was on my panel, and he's like, oh yeah, it was a really good book. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you read it too. Cool.
Nice.
So, because I think I have a copy of his book, and we were in SPIFBO 8, I think, together.
Yeah.
Remember Dryad's Crown, I think, was in that lineup. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really been interesting, like, who's connected with it, like, especially men too, because I'm like, most men would not pick this up and say this is this is geared towards me. But it has been good to see, like, the like feedback from like men who have read it and they're like, this is really good, like, you know, I connected with it, and, you know, especially if they have a spouse, so like my spouse really connected with it. So that's also been like an unexpected thing that I've really enjoyed.
That's so cool. Well, I feel like, I mean, it is definitely the kind of book that I can see being a great, like, couple read along together, like buddy read. And I do feel like one of the things that I appreciated so much about it is there's still, like, yes, it's really centered around this very beautiful romance between your two main characters, but there's a sense of that adventure and tension and like, you know, being chased by and doing this forbidden magic. So there are, I think, a lot of elements in it that still speak to the things that guys typically enjoy in fantasy. And not just guys, because obviously that's something that I also really love. But yeah, I'm glad that one's been doing really well, because I think one of the things I have always loved about your writing, and I know I mentioned this when I did the author interview with you a couple years ago, was you're so immersive in your descriptions. You're very talented at, like, pulling your reader in and describing things in this very vibrant, very vivid way. It makes it very easy to just kind of sink into the world. It feels very lived in. It doesn't lean into, like, oh, this feels really purple or anything. It's just really beautiful. So yeah, I think both Hills and Pointing the Wrong Direction and Assassin are, I think, great examples of that. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing any. And feel free, anybody in the chat, if you want to ask questions alongside us, go right ahead, because I'll pull those up. Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. More horror and mystery thrillers lately. So you're talking about, you're writing horror, like, a little bit in your short story. So are you a horror reader, or where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I think I just went too dark, but it was like beyond grimdark. I felt like it was more grimdark than anything else.
Sure.
Because I'm like, it's not going to be a happy story. And yeah, so I think it's just like how the ending landed. They're like, this is horror. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I mean, the most I can do is like cozy horror. And that's about it. So like Over the Garden Wall, like some of T. Kingfisher's stuff. I'm trying to think of some other things like Wednesday, Addams Family. Those are more cozy horrors that I can do. But you will not catch me watching Obsession. You will not catch me watching anything that is like jump scare. I'm like, I can handle some like little horror elements where it's like, ooh, this is a little spooky and unsettling. But I'm like, I want to know, like, we're all going to be happy at the end, and maybe less people die, and or even if people have died, like, it's not going to be like I'm scarred for life.
Well,
so this was,
you can bring them back.
Yeah. Sure. Maybe. So yeah, I would not call myself a peruser of horror at all, but yeah, this one might be the most horrifying thing I've written.
Well, I mean, you've kind of dabbled in horror in your short fiction before too. So, I mean, it's not like a completely new step for you.
No, but I don't think it'll get much more horrific than that one.
that's your border. Yeah. So, kind of going into that, what with Necromancy specifically, kind of leaning into that fantasy with the horror flavor. You and I have both dipped into writing necromancy.
I thought you were saying necromancy. I'm like, oh,
that's
sure.
you. That's all you, girl. The necromancy from kind of a different angle than I think traditionally we've seen. It's usually this very gritty, very grimdark kind of like gross sort of magical ability. So when you were first looking into Hills of Heather and Bone, what was it about necromancy specifically as a magical ability that kind of drew you in, and why, like, how did you approach writing it? Because that's obviously a slightly different tangent than we're used to seeing for necromancy.
Yeah. So I know originally, like, the brain idea I had when I first started the story was like a gender bent Persephone and Hades. So it's like, okay, I want something that kind of deals with death and those kinds of things, but not in the sense of like zombies or whatever. I was like, okay, what if we made it a little bit more emotional, and I'd kind of been wanting to read The Body Keeps the Score. So it's just more of like our bodies hold like our memories, and just like our bones reveal so much about us, not necessarily memory wise, but like there's so much information that they can glean about like who we are, where we've come from. So it's like, what if the memories are stored in there? Because there's a I mean, one of the practices is like reading the bones kind of thing. It's like, oh, the way it breaks, it shows something about the future. So I was like, I want kind of necromancy to be not necessarily about bringing people back. We can reanimate the dead, but all of what we know is just stored in the body. We're not gleaning anything different. Like, these people aren't back, but we still have a part of them with us from the memories we've resurrected in their bones. So I was like, that seemed like a natural kind of avenue to follow, of just like exploring things of grief, of like, how do we keep our loved ones still with us when they're gone? And then it just so happened that I was like, well, there's more of a story if it's like this kind of magic is viewed more as dangerous due to stuff that's happened in the past in this world, because at the height of it, it could kind of bring people back. But afterwards, it was like, oh, well, we don't want that to happen again. So let's just kind of erase this. Let's make sure no one's like doing this again. But there are still people with this ability, and with how strongly the magic connects to death, because like death is everywhere. You'll find it whether you're aware of it or not. And so with these characters who have it, it's like it's still there, and so you either ignore it or you can lean into it and just figure out like, what does this mean for how I'm living my life? How can I use this ability? And if it, like in the book, it's really, it was meant to be more of a way of like just a closure for people, but like with any match, I really was like, and I was also going through some grief at that time too. So it's just like, I want a different kind of exploration of grief. Like, how can, you know, death be maybe a comfort in that sense, or what? How can we get comfort from those we've lost and other things? So that was just a interesting avenue to follow. And then of course having like the other side of it, Percy, with a lot of life magic, like healing people, trying to keep people from dying. So, you know, just to have kind of that paradox of the two of them, but it still kind of works because it's death and life are all hand in hand. So it was just really fun to kind of explore that and just see what do different characters do with this, and what kind of, you know, things do they do afterwards, because there's a price for using the magic. So how can they creatively incorporate these stories that they've gleaned from the dead in their everyday lives?
I think it is so interesting that both of us around the same time dipped into, like, well, you were, I mean, obviously Hills was before Cold Silver, but both of us, once we got into necromancy, it was very much a exploration of grief, which I just find really fascinating, because I do think that on the surface level, necromancy gets like underutilized in terms of how you can explore human experience and death and all of these things with it. And I love that both of us were like, grief.
Sadness.
But you also managed to pull in this really beautiful, mature romance into the story, which I think, you know, so many people have been talking for over the last few years about how fantasy needs more of that representation, which I think for me is very true, because I'm always like, could we just get a mature romance up in this house somewhere? And I love the romance that you pull off in Hills of Heather and Bone. So in your opinion, what makes a good fictional romance?
I mean, I know what I don't like in it, which is like, it's a lot of insta love, it's fated mates, it's like, we're gonna be toxic all the time, but we still love each other. So I was like, I want it to be hard earned. Like it's been through we've gone through the hard stuff. We're still going through the hard stuff, and we're still like the couple's learning how do we still hold on to each other when it feels so weird. Life is trying to tear us apart. Like, you're different than where you were last year, kind of thing. And just like getting to the heart of that, of understanding of like, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but you'll find those moments where it's like, we're still going to work through this, even if we haven't reached a resolution. So it's like, I really like the hard won romance and not necessarily holding on to the bitterness. And I mean, there are fights and those come up, but I think like having a romance where it's like the world's trying to tear us apart, but we're going to try our hardest to like stay together, not just out of like because I think you're hot, but because it's like you're the person I want to be with, like you're my person kind of thing. So, you know, to have that balance of those things, to help it make it more realistic and not just like these are two teenagers who really
can't get their hands off each other.
They can't. And you know, the stars told them they're going to be together forever. So
those are my favorite romances, Katie.
Yeah, I can tell.
I love it.
So, I mean, to me, those were things that I've enjoyed in romances, even if it's like a budding romance. I like to see like, is this hard one and not just like these two have to be together. It's like this makes sense that these characters are together, and I can see like it's not just surface level. There are real legit issues that they bring up about each other, but it's like, you know, we are going to make this work because at the end of the day, like there's something stronger than that.
Right. Absolutely. Love that. Okay, so with Necromancy in Hills, you use the kind of forbidden form of magic. It is outlawed in this world. Is there a brand of magic besides necromancy that you think should be outlawed in fantasy books?
Ooh, I'm trying to think.
Whether it's overused or you just hate reading it or anything, take that in whatever direction you would like.
I really can't think of any because I feel like even if it's like typical elemental magic, if you put a fun spin on it, it's always going to be cool. Like in Legend of there was healing magic, but it's baked into the waffles, literally baked into the waffles. I'm like, that's such a fun magic delivery system. And I'm usually pretty forgiving of most magical systems. I think if it's done well, there's not one that I find like too overbearing or like, oh, that's so cliche. Because each author is going to do it differently, and I'm just like, magic, this is fun. I think when it's poorly explained, and I'm like, I don't know why this person has all these powers. The trope of like the person who's just all powerful with no consequences, that's the magical thing I don't like. I'm like, there needs to be some sort of consequences.
Where are your limitations?
Societal. Where are your limitations? What's society holding you to? Like, if you've destroyed everything, like someone's going to be mad. I feel like
somebody should be mad.
Someone should be mad, or your body should really hurt afterwards. So
like you should be tired.
He's like, everyone keeps coming after me. He's like, I just can't enjoy life because everyone wants to fight me. So it's like, that's a consequence in its own. He's still gonna win almost all the time, but it's like he is so done and just wants to stop. So
tired dad vibes. Yeah, love that. Okay, so I want to go into a little bit of a transition between Hills and also getting into your epic series with Assassin. But I don't think a lot of people, most people will know you from Hills of Heather and Bone, from Assassin, but I don't think people realize how many books you've published in how many different like categories or genres, because you have short fiction, you have full epic fantasy series, you have a fantasy romance standalone, you have fantasy western, poetry books. So with all of those experiences, poetry, short fiction, short novels, standalones, series, what do you feel like each form that you've written in has taught you about your craft as a writer? Because I know they're all so different. Even within the novels, they're all so different.
Yeah. Poetry, I think, is like the basis for everything. I talked about this on my TBR con panel because it was language. It was about voice and language.
Yeah.
And RRVV and I kind of talked about like just how words are spoken. He's gone like way in depth with how he writes his stuff. But poetry lends itself naturally to like how flow is very important. You know, how are we setting our word choice? Is this conveying the image we want to, or emotion we want to, you know, get out to the reader? So I think that really created the building blocks of like, do these sentences flow kind of in a good way? Is there variation versus this character, or even in the setting? Like, is this word choice going to convey something deeper than me just saying it's dark and scary? So,
right.
And just kind of playing around with that, whether it's rhyming or not. Like, I think poetry's taught me a lot in all of my writing forms. Short stories definitely taught me how to try and keep it brief. Because I love world building, as we can see with my latest book, which is like 700 pages. I like, it's hard to keep it short, but like there's so much you can do in a world that's a short story without it being just like overwhelming and sacrificing the story. So it's just kind of learning that of like, how do I still get a full rounded story with maybe only 5,000 to 10,000 words. So that's been fun. And then I think I have also a devotional. So like just exploring different like emotional themes that are nonfiction, and how to just like reach readers in a different way, in a more real way. And then just different fantasies. I want a multi-class. That's the goal.
I love that.
So nautical fantasy is next. We're gonna tackle that.
Adding it to the Thanos
We've got
here.
fantasy Western. I'm gonna move into I have some sci-fi stuff already written. Just refining and exploring that a little bit more. So I would love to do sci-fi. Probably won't write a true romantasy. That might be the only one I don't do. And a true cozy. I will get to a true cozy, but I think my short stories are more true cozy than Hills of Heather and Bone. So just kind of wanting to explore different genres and see like what are people's expectations versus what can I play around with to kind of subvert. There's still like a right of like, okay, this is a new thing. Like we can still maintain the same voice, but how are we adapting for as the story progresses, as these characters grow, and then versus like, what does the story actually need in it?
Yeah. Melissa says, this is why we get along. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many incredible avenues to explore with human experience and emotions. And I think fantasy just gives us a way to do that I think connects with a lot of people because it doesn't feel so intense sometimes. Like you can experience things that relate to your own in the real world, but it doesn't, because you're in that secondary world with characters that are fictional, it's feels a little safer to explore those. And I think some ways can hit even harder because of that. Because you're allowing yourself to be open to that experience, I think, more easily sometimes. But I love the multi-classing. That's I like why not? Like, so you've got sci-fi, is there, besides romantasy, is there a fantasy subgenre that you're like, I just can't see myself ever writing in this?
I want to say, I don't know, because I feel like I have written a grimdark. According to Mark Lawrence, Hills of Heather and Bone is cozy grimdark. So I was like, okay, I didn't know it was that. I was like, I can see it. I don't know if I would write a true grimdark in the way that most people would. Like, it can get pretty dark, but I feel like I always still want like a
You're not going to go like R. Scott Baker on us.
Yeah, I say that though, but my short story, the ending, I don't know. So I say that, but I prefer like, you know, even still can like look forward maybe to a new day kind
There's
of
still a
ending.
shred of light.
Yeah, there's still a shred. But yeah, I think true grimdark and true horror are the ones that I probably won't. I really would love to write like a murder mystery fantasy, but I need to also like study that craft a little bit more because I'm like, I know how the end is, but how do I get from this to this? How do we get there? Which is a whole other level of learning. So just I want to read some good fantasy murder mysteries and some other I like murder mysteries, so just that would be fun to do. I have an idea on the shelf somewhere of what I would like to write.
I mean, those you need to chat with Patricia Meredith. It sounds
I do. Like. That is on my plan. I was like, I need
brilliant.
to. I have her books. I'm like, I need to read them.
Well, and it'd be so cool because I even think from like a subgenre and tone kind of style that she's very similar to probably where you would land, where she's writing like they're murder mysteries and they're really intense and there's dead bodies and things, but it still feels cozy somehow. Where there's like that not even cozy, but like there's a kind of wholesome element to it at the same time where you're like, I don't know how I should feel right now.
Yeah. I think the closest I've gotten was oh my gosh, I'm blanking. It was the finalist of my category. All books are yes. That one. It's the Lamplight series.
Murder at Spindle Manor.
Yes, that was the closest one I've gotten. So there was that one. Yeah. Because it has some Agatha Christie vibes and some other things. So can't go wrong with the archetypes. No. But yes, I can't believe I forgot that one. I can see
There's so many books, Katie. It's
I'm
fine.
like, I can see the cover. I can see our Discord chat, but all things are blank.
Well, when you, I mean, I feel like we do okay for the simple fact that there are literally, we come across hundreds of books on a weekly basis, all covers, authors that we might know, might not know, like trad pub, indie pub, you know, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is such a lot.
No judgment.
Yeah. Sorry, Morgan, if you watch this. I didn't forget about you. I've just...
you know, it's fine. I could not think of the name of Assassins of Grins and Secrets the other day. I was talking to somebody and I was like, I know there's a lady with swords in it. And I cannot remember for whatever. Yep. And it's sometimes your brain just blanks out on you and is like, you've never read a book in your life. What are you talking about?
Yeah, when they're like, what's your favorite book? What's it about? I'm like, it's a book, people, things, and places happen.
Yeah.
So,
Brad has a question for us. Do either of us listen to music while writing, or do we have other ways that help to be conducive to write? What's your process?
I'm a heavy music listener. And fun fact, actually, the short story in the anthology was inspired by a song. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Let's write a story about that. So
love it.
I don't know if I should share the song now or after the anthology comes out, because I'm like, the song would spoil how it all goes.
Okay.
Basically.
You're just going to leave us on pins and needles. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I would say the artist, it's called North Sail. So literally... I had no
Sail North
book or anything. Sail North, yes.
I think I know what song you're talking about. I love them too.
Yes. So I had started compiling like all these sea shanties. I was like, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to write a story. And they came across like my feed on Spotify. I was like, that sounds fun.
So good.
They are so good. So yes.
I feel like if it's the song I'm thinking, I feel like you and I share an author brain cell or part of one somewhere back there.
You can whisper it to me after the chat, and that I can confirm or deny because I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melissa.
Yeah, Sail North. Yep. If you guys are not listening to Sail North, you should be, because some fantastic sea shanties.
So good. Yeah.
So good.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And then eventually I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do with this.
I got it. Yeah.
So.
T thinks he's got it.
Cool.
But honestly, that just makes me more excited to read the story, because if it's the song I'm thinking, I'm intrigued now. But yeah, so is that something that you've had with pretty much every book you've written, where the fictional ones at least, where you're like, you've got kind of a playlist going while you're writing them?
Yeah. that if pretty much for every book, I'm like, there is either a set of songs, or for the series, there's a set of songs. And so especially if I'm in a particular moment in the book, I will like maybe replay the same songs over and over and on the loop. And so it usually just follows whatever kind of beat like the story's in. I love my one for Hills of Heather, and sometimes I'll just go back and listen to it. But I do love creating. That's what I do sometimes before I even have the story.
Yep, same.
Let's do the playlist first.
Yes.
So that's usually the ground that'll either set tone, or maybe there's like some phrasing in the lyrics. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way. Not that I'm stealing song lyrics, but I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It just helps me.
It makes you think about it in a different way.
It helps pump me up or cool me down, and it's just the best way for me to write.
Well, and sometimes I don't know how to describe this really, because I love that also I'm not the weird one in the room who plays a song on loop like 70 times while I'm
especially if I'm like, oh, this is my jam.
This is it. We gotta keep that going.
K-pop Demon Hunters came out. I'm sure I helped my idol, your idol, like get to number 1 because it was on repeat.
Yeah. I mean, that is objectively the best song in the movie, in my opinion.
It is. Yeah. There's golden in your idol. I'm like, oof, these are solid.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal soundtrack for sure. Yeah. I do actual playlists for every book also. And like putting something on repeat, I don't know what it is, but you know how people talk about like binaural beats and stuff that just make your brain happy and bring up your motivation or creativity or whatever it might be. There's a whole bunch of brain science and stuff that I don't honestly know that much about. But I feel like certain songs just hit a creative button in your brain. And it's like you go, okay, I need that to just not go anywhere for a minute so that I can stay in that brain pattern with whatever scene I'm writing, whether it's like the emotion of the scene or just the rhythm of the words or the emotion of the characters. And it's cool.
It's like I need this just injected directly into me for the next however long I'm writing.
3 hours.
That's pretty much it.
So
whenever the Spotify rap comes out, I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Yep, that makes sense. These are
that's
all
the thing. It's like
different things.
Here's my like the songs that I like just as a human being out and about, and then you can tell my number 1 through 5 is what am I writing at the time, and those are the 5 songs that I've just had on repeat for like 3 months.
Absolutely.
So Sail North, K-pop Demon Hunters. Are there any other like go-to songs or artists or albums that you have loved writing to?
Recently I've really been enjoying Nathan Evans. He's a Scottish singer. He doesn't have like a wide repertoire, but he does a lot of sea shanties, and I actually have several of his songs in my Hills of Heather and Bone playlist. I just liked it because there was that folksy vibe, and there was a lot of like just jauntiness. So those were good ones. Colum R. McGinnis, I started listening to him. He does covers, but he's done some things, and I think I stumbled across a couple of his like Warhammer inspired songs, and I don't do Warhammer. My brother does.
I don't either, but it sounds fun.
He's like, oh, I already know him. So some of it's like really heavy and gritty, and it's got kind of like booming drum sound to it. I'm like, oh, I really like that. So he's been a good one. I think. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking at my Spotify. Fenris was also a fun band.
Oh, yeah.
So that one was good. Anything from the Arcane soundtrack is always like a good thing for me. And there's a couple. Yeah, there's a lot.
From the first Arcane season, play like full soundtrack. You can only listen to one song on that soundtrack.
Oh, good Lord.
Which song are you picking?
Hold on. I need to figure out the name. I know this.
I want to see if we'd pick the same song. I'm curious.
Okay, hold on. Season 1.
See how much of a brain cell.
You said it was season 1, right?
Yeah, the brown cover. No, I want the whole soundtrack. Thank you.
Oh, it's so hard because they all hit.
There's several. I know. Okay, top 2. Okay, let's do top 2.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I usually have on repeat for Assassins. And
from season 2.
Oh, why is it coming under season? No, it did say season. Why? I clicked on season 1. Hold on.
I mean, I agree with you for season 2. That would be on my list too.
Okay, hold on. why am I not finding the official one? I just want the official one. Don't give me everything else. It's season 1 and 2. That was my problem. Lord, this is fun. Okay.
I feel like I could send you, I don't know how to send you a link.
Hold on, I'm figuring it out. Spotify's being very unhelpful because it's like, you want both, right? I'm like, no,
I don't.
Give me the one. Okay.
Here, I have. Hold on. We need like a commercial break or something here.
Okay, Arcane season.
Yes, there you go.
No, not episode.
It's in your Discord.
Thank you. That is very helpful. Okay.
That's the one I'm looking at.
Okay. No, I don't want to start a chat, although I do, but why is it asking me so much?
This is so hard because I literally have 4 songs that I would pick on this that I am trying to decide between right now.
Yeah. Why do these all feel like the instrumental ones? Hold on.
I mean,
Goodbye is one of like my
such
top
a good
ones.
song.
Yeah. I feel like there was another one besides the Imagine Dragon one.
Enemy.
Yeah, that was the one that always plays. I mean, it's a good song. So
I can see that one. That one feels very Assassin of Grins and Secrets.
Yeah, I have Enemy.
Sure.
I know I have Enemy on there, and I think I have Playground on the.
Playground's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Goodbye. I think that one really hit. It hit real hard. Season 2 was much easier because I'm like, oh, there's so many things. Because Ashes and Blood, I think, was season 2. Yes. And that one was a good one.
That's also a good one. Blood, Sweat, and Tears is also phenomenal.
Yeah, almost every song on that.
So good.
I was like, this is so good. So
I think if I have to keep it to 2, which I really don't like, I don't like my own rules. It's my own fault. I'm going to pick Dynasties and Dystopia.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yep. And I think I'm going to pick Playground as my other one, actually. I love that song. I've listened to that on repeat so many times.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And I listened to quite a bit of Arcane with Cold Silver, too. There was a lot
I can see that.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in there. And sometimes, like, I feel like the Arcane, especially Arcane season 1, there's some good ones in season 2, but season 1 specifically, if you have a scene where you just need to get angry at something, there's some really good banger songs in season 1 that are perfect for that. Mm-hmm. Misfit Toys, Dynasties,
Misfit
and Dystopia,
Toys,
so good. Enemy.
Well, and that diverged off into the League of Legends soundtracks in general, like the songs they make, because there was bite marks for the Noxus,
so good
one, and I was like, that's on my Assassins playlist. I was like, just gonna play this on repeat. But yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Ashes and Blood were some harder hitter ones, and then there was a couple other ones. So I'm like, oh, this is so sad.
I love it. Legends Never Die from League of Legends too.
Legends Never Dies. There was it wasn't set, maybe it was Set Fire to the Fuse. There was another one. It was about burning stuff. It got burned in the title. I've got that, and then there's a couple other, and I've never played League of Legends, but I was like, these are all bangers.
I've neither.
And
amazing soundtrack though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if this is how I get into it, sure.
See, Brad did not know what kind of a can of worms he was going to open asking us about music.
I have so many Spotify playlists.
So do I.
And so much playing. Like, it's absolutely insane. Me and my writers group, we used to do collaboration soundtracks for each of our books, so that also didn't help, because I'm like, oh, I'm doing research for your book. Here's 45 songs that fit your vibes.
Yeah, I get people like ask me for soundtracks where they'll be like, all right, Tori, I need this kind of a vibe. And I'm like, I have like 98 not soundtracks, but playlists on my Spotify currently, and I just deleted a bunch. So yeah.
Oh, and then I think recently a lot of the songs from Sinners, there were a couple good ones.
Oh, there's some good ones in there too. Yeah.
From both the official soundtrack and then the other ones that they did. There were a couple I have on repeat that I'm like, this is such a good song. So yeah, it all varies. And then I have like a bunch of fantasy Western ones. And
yeah. Did you get into, I'm trying to think, when I was writing Cold Silver, there was a band, and I cannot believe that I cannot think of the name of them right now. Another moment where my brain's like, you've never listened to songs in your life. Oh, Poor Man's Poison.
I think so. I might have started
to a
adding
ton
that
of
to
theirs.
I remember Avi Kaplan you sent me, and I started doing that one. A lot of Beyonce's, like from her Western album. I had that. I had I had Little Nas's Old Country Roads.
Sure. Yep.
Or Old Town Road, whatever it's called. I had a lot from the Hatfields and the McCoys. TV show. So I had a lot of that.
3:10 to Yuma is a fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah,
too, for
and
Western.
then there was another. Oh my gosh, what was the soundtrack? I think it was The Harder They Fall. Was that the movie? Yeah, so that one had some good vibes. And then there was a lot of Hans Zimmer, a lot of good things. Yeah, it just. And there were a couple little like niche ones that, besides Delta Ray, I was like, oh, I'm really loving this.
Oh, Delta Ray. So that's the group that did Down by the River, or not Down by the River.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it has some
what I'm
good
talking
ones.
about.
Wyatt Flores. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Flores had a lot of good stuff. And even for book 2, I was starting to find some like new ones that I was like, oh, I've never heard of this one. The Dead South. I've been liking some of theirs.
Ooh.
The Dead South, Blues.
I did not realize.
Yeah, Poor Man's Poison,
Southern
Friends
Gothic,
with the Enemy. Yeah.
Yes. I didn't realize that Southern Gothic was a category of music until I started listening to stuff for Cold Silver, and I am like, I'm there for life now. I love it.
I forgot I think I was like high school when I learned about it, because there were some old Delta Ray like music videos. I think it was Down to the River. That was what first got me into it. I was like, oh, this is fun. I think I found, because I'm like, I don't like country necessarily, but I'm like, oh, Southern Gothic's fun, or a little folksy.
Yeah, folk I like, country not my bag.
Yeah. So there's a lot more that I'm trying to explore. I think I have some Johnny Cash mixed in this as well.
Can't go wrong, right?
Yeah. Barnes
Courtney.
Yeah, Barnes Courtney, that was also a good one.
A good one.
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones. But yeah, music always
clearly passion point for both of us.
Yes.
Because we could probably just talk music for an hour and a half.
That is episode 45.
That's episode,
the music.
Yeah.
We get Andrew D. Meredith in here because it wasn't me in the band. No, that was
no.
That was the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Mike, who wrote The Traitor. No.
Mike Roberti?
Yes.
Yeah. He was in the band, I think.
He was in the band.
Okay, yes, he was. I've discovered that there have been several indie authors. I think Joshua Edwards also is in a band.
Okay.
He wrote An Ocean of Others, for anybody that doesn't know in the chat. I know Dave Jennings just mentioned briefly on Instagram that he was in a band that wrote like one song back in the day. But it's funny to me how many people either on BookTube or like a lot of people, and he talks about this on his channel, but a lot of people don't know that Nico from Nico's Book Reviews sings metal. Like he sings heavy metal music.
Wow.
Which is like, I had no idea until like a year ago that he did that.
All hidden talents.
So many hidden talents in the book community. Yeah. Some of which are like, we all need to have a hidden talent somewhere.
Exactly. It makes interviews much more interesting.
That's right. It does. Okay. Well, I mean, I have to ask now, Katie, what is your hidden talent that is like completely unrelated to anything bookish?
That's a good question. I would say finding like really fun and unique pieces at like estate sales and whatnot.
You're an antiquer?
Yeah, this weekend I hit up 2 really great sales, and like their prices were absolutely phenomenal on their glassware and stuff. And
love it.
I was like, look, this was 50 cents. This goes for like blah, blah, blah. So I think I've gotten better at that, just because I do resale on the side as well, just for fun.
Nice. So you're not just an antiquer, you're like, I know things antiquer?
I now know more things Yeah, my mom's really into like the dolls and some of
Sure.
the vintage toys and glassware. I've gotten more into glassware and some like mostly glassware, honestly,
Okay.
which is surprising.
Okay.
I don't know, Pokemon cards. I don't think that's a hidden
Valid.
skill.
No, valid. Love that.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that card's worth that. That's this. This is what this goes for. Yeah, so that's been a fun thing. Yeah, there's I guess gardening's the other one.
Yeah.
Try to be good at gardening, but it's been really, really hot.
That's more than I do.
Had weird weather, so I'm like,
yeah,
anything that's growing is a miracle at this point. So
yeah, I know. Even my husband Ben's garden is like, we've been struggling this year because it's just been so hot and gross, and like even when you're watering things every day, it just like it disappears so fast.
Yeah, and then we'll have 2 weeks of straight rain. I'm like, well, now everything's dead.
Right.
Been overwatered, and then it's like, maybe we'll stick around. I'm like, I don't know how to help you.
Yeah, we haven't quite got the pacing right with this summer.
I'm like, I had tomatoes this year, which was great. I had no tomatoes last year because it was so much rain. So I was lucky to have tomatoes. So that was a win.
Small victories, you know?
Yes, it is small victories. So yes, I would say probably the thrifting and antiquing is probably a newer skill.
Yeah. Hey, when you can go to an estate sale and you can say, I know roughly what this is worth, other than that, that is a definite life skill that I feel like is very useful at the moment.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, that should not go for that.
Right. Trying to think if there's anything like that I know. I used to do resale for some things, but I never really like heavily got into anything. I kind of dabbled more than anything else. But I'm trying to think. I know the bookish community is going to love this. K-pop cards. I'm pretty good at valuing those.
That's good.
But I don't know that that's a particularly like useful hidden talent all the time. Because I don't spend a lot of time doing resale or anything. I used to. Brad also has I have a playlist for every book. I'm sure you do too. Yep. So when you pick your playlist, is it pretty set, or do you kind of shift things around, move things in and out as you write?
So if I was smart, I would order the songs. So I just have it on kind of shuffle. But
Repeat?
I do shuffle, repeat, or smart shuffle because sometimes it'll actually come up with a new song that I'm like, actually, I've never heard that before. Thank you for finding for me. So I'll add it. Sometimes I'll go in order because I'm like, oh, I know this chunk of songs that I added like last week were all for a certain reason. So I tried with Hills to rearrange that playlist because I think I did share that playlist with like the actual world of said, here's the playlist that I used to build this book. So I kind of followed some of the beats of the story, but then sometimes I'm just like, nah, we're just gonna add songs at the end.
It's fine. Chaos reigns.
It's mostly for me.
Yeah, exactly.
The song is.
Yeah, I did that with Bloodstones and Phased because I have the playlists embedded on the website, and like I did kind of clean them up and be like, here's kind of your core like 10 songs that I listened to the most in kind of an order. Because sometimes I'll put songs on there and I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to this a lot. And then I get to the end of the book and I'm like, I listened to that like twice.
Yeah, after once it starts getting into the 4-hour mark, I'm like, nah, we're not going to clean this up. I think Hills of Heather and Bone is 7 hours and 25 minutes long. And that's not my longest book.
I think most of my playlists land between like 2 and 4 hours is typically my, I
did not have that happen.
7 hours is a lot of playlists.
Woman of Steel and Scars. Okay, Woman of Steel and Scars is 10 hours and 41 minutes long.
Oh my gosh.
Oops.
I mean, it's your playlist. You can make it as long as you want.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, that one. Oh, NF was also a good one that I listened to.
Oh yeah.
So I have a lot of that.
My favorite Western artist by far.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Assassins was 5 hours and 23 minutes, so a little more conservative.
Queen's Wolf is 2 hours and 47 minutes.
I just like adding songs because
That's
sometimes
fair.
I'm like, oh, this will help with this other part of this scene.
Yeah. So do you have, I get this question all the time. Do you have a hard time writing if you're listening to lyrics? I don't, but I feel like a lot of people are surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes instrumental's really good for a certain scene.
Yeah.
If I'm like, okay, maybe if I'm struggling to write,
yeah,
sometimes having no words is helpful, but more often than not, it's all just kind of a mix and it doesn't seem to really bother me.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm similar, and I think my brain kind of zones out after a while, where it's like a very specific background noise or rhythm that's all I want out of it. So we have to talk about Women of Steel and Scars since it's your latest release, which I know was a huge project and undertaking for you, because I've been kind of watching the process since it started over the last couple of years. What is different between writing the first book in a series and the sequel? Was it harder?
Yes. So, for most people who don't know, I started the whole series in high school. So book 1 had a lot of changes. I think I started writing book 2 at the end of high school and did major revamps for it in college. So really, since I started working on book 1, I hadn't touched book 2. Yeah. So ever since publishing book 1, I'm like, okay, I know I need to get to book 2. So it was just a lot of things that I had changed in the characters and the story and how I'd grown as a writer. I was like, okay, now I need to actually continue some of these threads, both big and small, in book 2, but then also like, how are we going to create new things that'll kind of continue over into book 3? So just figuring out what things can I wrap up, what things still need to continue, what new things can I do, and just like, the characters are now in this very different state than we found them in book 1. So it's just like coming to terms with that of like, okay, I got to reorient myself with these characters. I got to figure out like all the systems I've created. Is this still going to work? And like, I think I always knew how book 2 was going to end, but there was a lot more to fill in the middle, because I'm like, oh, well, we've added this character, we've added this element, you know, that's going to take a couple more 100 words to fill in. So I think writing the second one was a lot harder for me mentally, just because I'm like, all right, we've got to add more. We're building towards the final book, and just making sure everything's like cohesive as it can be, and just being like, you know, this is not resolved yet, but it's going to be resolved. Like, oh, this is where the subplot went. Oops. We'll either fix that or we'll just push that somewhere else. So, and then just kind of like expanding the world a little bit more. So I was like, I knew it was going to be longer. I just didn't know how much longer it was going to be until the end, because I don't really set limits. I'm like, I'm just going to let the story write itself out, and then we'll edit and adjust as needed based on just what it needs. So it did end up being about 700 pages, which was a lot more than book 1. So I do think it was hard, but I have also heard like writing your third book is also very hard, because again, you're now finally landing that plane. So because I was like, the ending of book 2, I mean, there's 3 books in the series, so it's like it's not a surprise, but I was like, it was more experimental on this one ending, because I was like, I'm not sure quite how this is going to land, but I think this is what's needed for it. But it is going to like open up a lot more questions, because people are like, well, I know this has got to happen, but you ended it this way. So
where are we going?
Where are we going? I had a lot of people mad at me. So
Melissa maybe being one of them, I don't know.
Yes. Melissa has read it.
Well, I mean, I'm really excited. My copy, I was telling Katie earlier, is like Amazon, I think, is like chopping down the trees to make the paper for the book right now. So hopefully I get it soon so I can confirm or deny. But yeah, I feel like that's, you know, everybody talks about the second book slump, though, right? And as authors, I think we're trying so hard to avoid that, and we're trying to continue on the promises that we've been making in book one. We're trying to give some closure to some of the threads while bringing us into that third book with still a lot of tension and interest. So that second book is a challenge.
And yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, plus I'd also put like 5 years between the first book and the second book in releasing. So it was just like getting that momentum back was a little bit hard. And then just some of the characters just working out those dynamics, because it's like, I don't want this to accelerate beyond what would naturally happen with these characters, but I also need to kind of move it along.
Right.
And just be like, is this working for this character? And actually Uriah changed a lot at the end of this book. I originally had something totally different for him.
Okay.
And then my writers group was like, well, I hate him now. I'm like, okay, we can't have that.
No.
So we're going to change that. So there was a lot more that I added onto his story that will change a lot more in book 3, because originally I had a different plan for him in book 3. Yep. I'm like, oh, now we've changed this, so now I've got to like really make those changes in the book 3 draft, which there is a draft, it's just not a complete draft, so it is there. So a lot of things will change. I know how it's going to end, at least, so that's the thing.
That's
so
a big deal.
Working my way up to the ending, so I don't foresee the ending changing a whole lot, which is hopefully good for me. But it was a hard book to write, and I think just also the season I was into, it was just like, I'm not creatively motivated, like I'm really distracted. So it was a lot of like kind of push through with it, but I do think like it turned out well. So there is that, and there has been
refined through the fires of adversity and all that.
Yes, much like all the characters in this book. So I was like, I think we're getting darker in this book. And then eventually book 3 will happen, and they'll get better.
And I think that's such an important thing to remember as authors and also as readers, is like, the creative process was never meant to be a machine. And so all of us, like, it's such a organic, fluid thing about us as people. And I think you're right. Like, the season of life that you're in completely changes your motivation to write, what you're interested in writing, the themes that you're most like, intrigued by or wanting to dig into. So, I mean, shout out for writing your second book and getting through it, because I think it's like, that's a big undertaking, and it's a huge victory to like get to the other side of that and look what you created despite all of the hurdles and stuff that were in your way at the time.
Yeah, and I had to change editors halfway through just due to unforeseen circumstances, so that was also very stressful, because I'm like, oh, here's my editor, and they're like, we can't finish this. I'm like, oh, not because it's unreadable, but just because your life is busy. So I was like, oh, we got to pivot. Now I got to introduce it to someone who's never read the first book, which is maybe helpful. But I was like, I was hoping someone who kind of knew book 1 could be like, oh, I can see some of the changes you're doing. This works, this doesn't. So that was an unforeseen circumstance with that. But I had already had the cover for years, so that also helped.
That helped.
I'd been sitting on it for like 3 years, and I was like, oh, now I can finally share it. I have it.
And that's the tricky part, is like, I mean, for between Bloodstones and Queen's Wolf, even, I had new cover artists that I was working with, also a new editor, and that really does change the process a lot, just trying to think through, making sure that it's still very streamlined, that it doesn't feel like, it still feels like a continuation of the book that you wrote to get people into the series. And even, your growth as a person, as an author too. And especially when there's a longer period of time between the two, that's a whole different level of the writing process that I think a lot of people don't realize.
Oh yeah. So it's like, I can understand why it took Rothfuss, or it's still taking Rothfuss so many years series. Like, it's a lot. And then when you get to book 3, it's like, now we got to remember everything from both books and figure out how to bring it all together.
It's a lot. So going into book 3, do you feel like optimistic about book 3, or is it still feeling like a bit of a mountain?
I feel optimistic because what I did with that one, which it's a Frankenstein at this point. It's the best way to describe it, because I wrote it over several different NaNoWriMos. So they're like 50,000 word chunks. So we've got the beginning, we've got kind of the middle, we've got some random scenes in there, a vague idea of one of the last climactic scenes, and then the ending, which is the most solid part, I think, of the whole book.
Yeah.
So there is an outline. There's a general sense of like where it's going. It's just trying to bring it all together with all the new elements, what I've learned, not trying to worry about where it's going to be. I'm like, I would not be surprised if it's 800 pages. I would like it to not be. For printing and my own sanity, but so we will see, because someone's like, well, do you want to split it into 2? I'm like, I can't, it's a trilogy. We have to keep it where it is, but you know, people will read longer books. It just depends.
Well, especially in epic fantasy, we're all used to that.
Oh yeah, and it's a final book, so it's like you want as much in there as you can to land everything. So I feel really optimistic now. When I open the document and actually have to stare at what I've written years ago, it would be a whole different thing. Because I don't think anyone in my writers group has seen it. I've talked about it for a couple of years. I forgot when I started writing it. I think it was college. So it still has been. It's been sitting a bit.
Ruminating.
So it's just trying to like some of the ideas that I have plot out the way I'm hoping it will. That's, I think, my main concern, because it's like the books will go and then they'll get fast and then they'll go, and so I'm like, you know, that's just how this is. It's got action and adventure, but it's not going to be all the time, because I'm like, we still need to slow down.
Right. So on the spectrum of like planner to discovery writer, where do you typically land? Because I know you said you have the ending figured out, but I feel like, I mean, I'm a discovery writer, also have the ending figured out for Legends of the Bruhai. So I feel like people think when we say discovery writer that it means we don't have any idea where we're going at any point, which I don't feel is necessarily true. How much do you plan?
I plan fairly well, in the sense of like, I know the world, I know the characters, I know kind of the beats it's going to take. I do have my spreadsheet of everything, which I actually need to go back and summarize book 2 and break it all down. So that's pre-planning that I need to do, so I don't forget things. So I have like the basic important things all written down of like, you know, this is the colors of the guard. This is, especially for the synesthesia element, like here are the people's like colors and their voices. So like those important things that I'm like, well, this has to be written down because I'm not going to remember. So those things are, but in terms of kind of, I think, plot or maybe like dialogue and things, those are always discovery things of like, what is this character actually going to do? And I'm like, oh, well, if we change this, which actually there were some other plot points in book 2 that changed. I was like, oh yeah, so that's going to add a whole other element of tension in book 3 that it's like, okay, I wasn't planning on that. So now we got to factor that in with this new layer. So yeah, a lot of things changed towards the end than I originally was planning, but I think it's going to work out better for some of these characters. I'm like, well, if to me it looks fine, but the reader, my beta readers are saying, you know, what if you did this? I think that would be a lot better. I'm like, okay, that's not always helpful, but sometimes it is helpful. So sometimes, especially for people I trust, I'm like, okay, let's do that and see where we can take that, and if that's going to really impact the story for the better. So I'm always open to it, but I'm not hard and fast of like, it has to be like this, otherwise we can't write it. Or like some people who are like, it needs to be within this number of pages. It's like, I can't hold myself to that.
No. Like, I'm trying to remember if is it Joe Byrne who like is writing within like 1,000 words or less of every book, the same word count. That blows my mind.
I could not do that. I'm like, we were at 260,000 words for book 2, and I think I got it closer to 2,000. But I was like, oh yeah, we can't bring it down too much more. I could not.
I'm interested to see where Queen's Wolf ends up. Like, it will be bigger than Bloodstones for sure. Because Bloodstones was just a hair under 150, and I think Queen's Wolf is going to be between 180 and 200,000 for sure.
I mean, that's solid for a sequel.
It is, and it's, you know,
and it's epic military fantasy, so
right. There's war and things.
There's war. There's things in war.
There's things in war and people being mad and conflict and whatever.
Oh yes.
All of the fun things. Melissa says book 3s are hard. Yeah, landing the plane has got to be. I'm not there yet, but I can imagine that that's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Brad wants to know, how do you do epic fantasy without doing something that has been done likely repetitively? I don't think about it that much, to be honest.
I don't think about it that much either, but also I'm aware of the fact that there's really nothing new under the sun, and it's just more of like,
right.
This idea has probably been done
just
before,
very liberating.
But this is my take on it, and I think
right, with your voice.
Yeah, because it's like we love tropes for a reason, but we also love like when the tropes are fresh. So I think, you know, there are some familiar beats you can follow with epic fantasy. Like, you know, there's always going to be some maybe final battle or final conflict or something, like, you know, to expect those things, but it's always like, what is this going to look like in your world? So or, you know, like, who's your villain, who's your antagonist, how is that going to end for them, how's it going to end for your heroes? You know, there are the same things that will happen in a story. It's just however you decide to do it with your own voice and take on it, that's what's going to make it a little bit different than everyone else. So, and of course, like, even if you decide to do it differently, if you don't do it well, then it is not going to work out. So it is that combination of your skills as a writer to make sure you're sounding like you while still being true to your story and making it true to what you want to write in a sense. So yeah, I don't think there's really a hard and set rule for how to do it, because we're all, especially in the indie sphere, we're all just kind of experimenting and seeing what sticks and what readers will like. Because I mean, traditional publishing has it set a certain way and you have those expectations, but even there's still like the flavor of the author. Whereas indie's like, I could just throw a spaceship in here, and as long as it's explained, you're gonna accept it and you're gonna like it most of the time if it's done well. If it's done well, so I think it's just it's a combination of your own skill and your own creativity.
Right. Totally agree. Well, and I think too, something that is really important to remember is, like you said, yes, those tropes are there for a reason. The archetypes are there for a reason. We love them. And that's why people are like, hey, I really loved X series. I'm trying to find something like that, or like somewhat in the same vein. Because we all have personal preferences and taste to what we like to read. But I think, you know, if you take the book that everyone, you know, you must have read if you're a fantasy fan, according to BookTube, if you take Lord of the Rings and you give every author the same premise with the same characters and even the same like quest of sorts, you're going to get such a dramatic variety of stories, because everyone's coming into it with their own what they care about within that story. Which character becomes the protagonist for each one? Which character is the villain for each one? What themes are they going to lean more heavily on that matter most to them as an author? And so I think, you know, nobody, if you and I were writing the same, like both of us wrote fantasy Western around the same time, totally different books, right? And like, you were like, what about fantasy Western with dragons? And I was like, what about fantasy Western with necromancers? And like, you know, there's endless possible ways to go with any particular book idea. So yeah,
it literally feels like spinning a wheel. Like, we've got fantasy with dragons and guns with magic and whatever, and you're like, we're just gonna make that work.
And we're all just asking, what if?
What if?
What if?
Would you read this? And most of the time, someone will
always
say yes.
somebody who's like, let's see. Hi, Kai. Welcome. Lots of things, mostly going down in the description to click the link about the anthology Kickstarter that Katie is in, that will be starting up in September, early September. Let's see. Hello, Derry.
Hello.
Of course, Melissa comes in with dragons are the only answer. But
it also depends on how you do your dragons. Everyone's got a different variety.
That's true. That's very true. That is something I never thought I would ever do as a dragon fantasy, because I'm not a dragon nerd. I think dragons are cool, but I also think that there's so many dragon stories, and again, they're all completely different. Right? Yeah. Which is so cool. But I always was like, I don't know, I'm just not really drawn to dragons. Do I have a dragon story idea? 100%.
I think I've got like another dragon series in me. I think it's going to be a duology. So that's another project. Could we work on this? It's like, we shouldn't.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
So we have that. But yeah, it's like, at least with Wild Skies, I'm like, there's a variety of books that can be standalone, so I can just work on that whenever I want. I just need to
just a playground.
I need to finish Dale's story first, and then I've got a couple other ones, and we'll play around with that, because I'm like, I love a good dragon story.
Yeah. They are a very versatile fantasy element.
It's, again, what do you do with them? How do they interact with the world?
Exactly.
And that's what makes it exciting.
Yep. Not surprisingly, Derry's in with a Hob having the best dragons.
That's another author I need to read more of.
Have you read anything by Hob yet?
I want to say I have read one, and I don't remember what it is. I think it was
Assassin's Apprentice, maybe?
Probably? Yes. I think I started that one. I was going to say, there's a boy, a little child. There's a boy in it.
That narrows the fantasy field down immensely. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. I was great. Yeah, there's a child, and there's an adult, and there's someone who does a thing.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. That I see it in my mind's eye. There's only that narrowed it down. Yep. Okay. Ro says, when you write all that out on spreadsheets, do you do it while you're writing, or do you go back and create that document after you've done a session of writing?
Well, that's a good question, Ro. Welcome, Ro, creator of the anthology. So I actually don't use spreadsheets. I low-key despise them because I do them for work. So I actually write in Scrivener. I write in Scrivener. So I basically have everything kind of categorized and then hidden in like little subfolders. So I'll have like a subfolder for culture, or subculture for food, or subculture for this characters, all their descriptions, all their arcs, all their things, everything that does not necessarily end up in the book. But I do it that way just because it's a little bit easier to navigate for me. Because I like a good list, and at least in Scrivener you can create like little folders, and you can add photos and a lot nicer, and then just low-key I have my dislike for spreadsheets. I'm still learning. I did something the other day, and I'm like, I think I ruined the whole spreadsheet, and I don't understand what I did. So just like, we're gonna undo it until it looks better. I'm like, it's fine. So I do kind of add while I'm writing sometimes, especially if it's like, oh, do I have that detail written down? Or especially if it's a new detail, then I'm like, oh, the cathedral here in the square is white, and I know I'm going to refer back to this like thing.
Need that.
So Kay's putting together that I'm regular Katie. So you're right, I do need to change it to author.
Yes. Yep, there she is in the flesh and everything.
Tis I. But yeah, so sometimes I'll go back after a writing session and add it into the document I'm working on for world building stuff or plot points, especially. Because what I do after every book is try and write down the major plot points, so when I'm writing the next book, it can be like, okay, when did this specific stupid small thing happen that no one but me, although someone who was helping, he unsolicited, someone did, and it was very helpful. He's like, okay, well, in book 1 you did this, and I was like, thank you, you're a great beta reader reviewer, can I hire you? So he helped out a lot with that, and he was like, yeah, you did this in book 1, but you didn't do this in book 2, and I'm like, thank you.
Thank you for
so
that.
Thank you. So it's helpful to have like the small details written out, but then big picture stuff, I'll kind of sum that up at the end, and figure out will this stay or does this need to change? So.
Yeah. Kai, you don't have to apologize. Katie and I literally had a conversation earlier about how like keeping track of everyone's usernames and their author names and the different social platforms and what it's a lot. So,
when you're in 7
don't feel bad.
different Discords, I'm like, I'm in Katie in half of them. I'm in Katie Andrews with parentheses Katie, and then we also show the origin of why I'm regular Katie.
Derry didn't know.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
There's
yeah. I mean, that is one like plus of having my name just on my books as is, because I don't have to like, oh yeah, I am actually VR Tekken or whatever.
This is the decision, and that I will stick with forever.
Yeah, you know what? I respect it. Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Britton, I know you asked when I'm going to read Of Mice and Men. I don't know.
It's a good book. It's a good book. It's sad.
I just read Cannery Row by John Steinbeck, and I did not love it. But I know a lot of people have said that that's not like one of his more like well-loved works in compared to like Of Mice and Men or Grapes of Wrath or whatever else.
Yeah, I would say Mice and Men's the better out of them to me, especially it's shorter than Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got some very like easy to follow plot points and everything, and then you kind of know how it's going to end. And I think it's just more human in terms of just how the story goes. So I liked Mice and Men. I still think about it sometimes.
So. That's a good review. If you're still thinking about it, that's usually a good sign.
I mean, the ending is very vivid. It still is with me, and I read it in, I think, high school or middle school. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, that makes me more excited to read it.
It's a sad book. It's a sad book. I will also say that.
I mean, Cannery Row was also kind of like weirdly depressing. So I can a little cynical.
It's that writing. I don't think they really had any happy stories. It's just like America's sad ran out. Now. We ran out. This is the human experience.
We're all just sad. Yeah. I mean, as somebody who dresses all in black and is pretty emo most of the time, I appreciate that.
My music choice would not indicate my retail voice. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I want a cozy story, but I'm listening to sad music.
Yeah, I know Andrew Meredith has a joke that I bring up every once in a while on the channel where he says that my autobiography should be called Every Novel a Therapy Session. And he's not wrong.
No.
But I like it that way.
I would question me too. I'm like, this is not who I am, but this is what we've chosen to write.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, Brad. Have a good night.
It's good. Thank you.
Yeah. I go by Joey at work. Long story. I had someone ask if I'm my own relative. That's amazing.
Since I started working at the new place, there is a personal assistant to my boss. She has red hair, but hers is like really like red.
Like really red.
Yeah, and she's a little taller than me. She does not wear glasses. She's also a mom of 2 kids.
Okay.
I get called her name, not just by the other boss, but the IT guy came by. He's like, did you need to ask me a question about something? I'm like, were you thinking of Megan? He's like, I think so. And literally last Wednesday, my boss was like, Megan, this isn't working. Megan, this isn't working. I said, Megan's not here. She's like, thanks, Stephanie.
Katie, actually.
It's Katie, actually. But I've gotten that before. But to be fair, one of the places it happened, we did also have the same build and glasses and red hair. So
yeah, a little more understandable. Sure. Okay.
We have name tags, but it's fine.
Yeah. Derry says we need to get you back into Farseer, Katie.
I'll add it on the never-ending TBR list.
Right. Derry, don't like stalk me, but Fool's Errand may or may not be the next book I'm starting after I finish the 2 I'm working on right now. So not long at all. Okay, so as we're kind of wrapping up, I know that the anthology is kind of your big project that you just finished and are promoting right now, but is there anything else that you have in the generic near future that you're working on and want people to know about?
Well, I will say I did release a poetry book, I think 2 months ago. I think it was 2
Okay.
months ago. It might have been June. So it's called Crying
Okay.
in Moscow. It's just a short poetry
Oh yeah, that's right.
collection.
Yep.
Yeah. Also about grief.
Look at us.
Look at us. Just, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So that was my most recent thing. I have started book 2 in Wild Skies. It's called Guns Blazing. So I'm working on that.
Okay,
I have
book
2
2.
pages, 2 pages written.
Get it, girl.
I'm that one. I think that one's going to be more of a discovery writing because I have a generic idea of the plot, but I'm like, we're gonna see what happens, and I kind of know how it ends. So there's that.
Yeah.
I might spin a wheel and see what big project I work on next. The obvious would be book 3.
Yeah.
So I feel like that might be November's project to kind of start on that. But the 2 I would really love to work on is either my bigger dragon story or my Moby Dick inspired fantasy story.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. What?
Oops. Hello. So
I need more details immediately.
So I would like to write a Moby Dick inspired fantasy nautical story that is set in the same world as my short story.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a standalone. I don't think it'll be as long as Moby Dick.
Fair.
But it's going to follow some of the same kind of beats in that, but different.
I need it yesterday.
I'm literally trying. I have the prologue written.
Okay.
And so far my beta readers or my alpha readers in my writers group are like, oh, this is really good. I'm like, thanks. I just need to figure out how I want to write it, because I kind of want to mix like some journal entries, but then also like kind of present tense kind of thing. So I need to figure out like what's going to happen.
Are we doing interludes? Are we doing,
Yeah. So I was like trying to figure out like how it's going to look. I know how it's going to end, and I know basic world building things and most of the characters. So there is an outline for that. But yeah, it's like, oh, I'd love to work on that because all my sea shanty knowledge is just floating around now.
Yeah, it's just waiting for an avenue here.
So yeah, those are like the big things on the horizon, and I'll sprinkle in like a couple of short stories in my cozy fantasy series.
Nice.
So that's the plan. But yeah,
I am also excited about that.
I am a mood writer, and right now the mood is we don't know.
Yeah,
we
that's
have
fair.
the idea. We can see what we need to work on. It's just forcing myself to kind of do that. So yeah,
that's awesome. That is so unique, and I'm so excited about it. I need that. So I look forward to when the mood strikes you. I look forward to that coming out.
Thank you.
Yes, I know, Derry. And I'm very well aware, Kai. I almost didn't say anything and just said sometime soon. Yeah, so as kind of a final question, as a reader, are there any books that you are really excited to get to before the end of the year or soon? Not to put a like limit on it.
That's a good question. Let me consult my Goodreads really quick. Well, obviously your book too. I'm really excited about that. I would say Andrew G. Meredith's The Baker's Dungeon.
I won't have it done before the end of the year.
I beta read his other one, the one with the bard, the one hit or the plus one hit.
Oh, plus one hit wonder.
Yeah, that was good. So I already know how that one goes. Oh my gosh, there's so much on my shelf. It's depressing.
I feel you.
And again, my want to read on Goodreads is like 3,000 books long, and that's
oh my gosh,
whatever is on there.
I narrowed mine down to like 600.
I did the math. I'm like, we're gonna die before we do this.
We're already dead.
Yeah, we're dead. It's fine. Okay, I think I do want to read Lonesome Dove because my boyfriend really likes that.
Okay.
I would say he also really likes Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I think I had mentioned it to him, and he's like, I'll give it a read, and then he's all done. He's like, I don't know what to do with my life. Yeah, he's like, it's all gone. I don't know what to do. Yeah, there's
you
just
should
so many,
have him ask Brian or Wizard for some like Lit RPG Rex, because I know they have some good ones.
I don't know how soon I'll get to it, but Champion of the Fallen by M.L. Spencer.
Oh yeah, I want to read that one too.
I feel like I need to just read a summary of book 1. I kind of know what happened in book 1, but it's been also so long.
It has been for me too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cozies, recipes for the unexpected afterlife I really want to read. There's, oh my gosh, Isabeau told me, He Who Ate the Wild. I really want to read that one. So I have these books, but I have not picked them up. A Haunt for Jackals, because everyone there. Yes,
I will unashamedly yell at you to read that.
Yeah, and David on Four Corners is also. I'm like, okay.
But he's new. Like he's new to this fandom. I am telling you.
Technically, I'm also new. I think I read book 1 this year, and I was like, I really need to do that. And then some of the Spiffbo finalists, Dogged and Jester, I think I have on there.
Yeah.
And
look at the timing.
Hey, look, she knew we were
talking Jamie.
So I need to read book 2. I have book 2, but I have not read it. There's a lot. Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. That one was...
That sounds amazing just on the title.
That was one that a reviewer in the Fanfi Attic group had read, and I was like, you are a bad influence, and you told me this is a really good book, and now I found it and picked it up.
Now I need it.
So, and then I think 9 Goblins by T. Kingfisher. Oh, yeah. Those are some of the ones
I'm reading that this year, too.
To get to this year, but...
So as somebody who's like just starting my T. Kingfisher journey, what are some of your favorites from her canon of work?
Nettle and Bone I've read, and I really liked that one. And now I need to... What have I read by her? Hold on.
I've only read House with Good Bones. I've read Thorn
I've not read
Hedge.
That one. I think
those are my only 2 so far.
Yeah, Nettle and Bone is still my top one. Yeah, A Sorceress Comes to Call.
I'm not dismissing him at all, Derry. Don't worry. He's amazing, and I'm so glad he liked the books.
Yeah, she's got a lot of good stuff. The Seventh Blade is one I also want to read. I listened to her talk at Dragon Con about cozy horror, because that was the whole talk, was like, how do you do cozy horror? What is that? And I was like, yeah, that's good. She's also got some short things. There's the Jackalope Wives and Other Stories, and then Toad Words and Other Stories. So she's got some like random things that I don't know if that's part of like her published canon, like with her publisher, or if this was all self-published stuff. But there's a lot of like smaller ones I really want to read. And so
Evie enjoyed the Agnes Albert. Is it Albert or Aubert?
I'm gonna say
how Western or how American are we pronouncing this? Aubert.
So yeah, that one looks cute.
But
yeah, I'm also very easily influenced by people who are like, you should read this book. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I have way too many people influencing my shelves.
That's why I'm reading 4 books at the same time. Have I finished all of them yet? No.
No.
Eventually. You say that, but then I have to organize it, and
I don't find
a chore.
I don't find it a chore to read the books. I only just wish that I had more time to read more of them, because I want to. So, Derry also wanted to know really quick, how many books live on your wheel of options of writing?
Ooh, good question. So published works, and I do have another book in an anthology. So I have 15 published options. So in categories, you've got poetry. I have a like little devotional journal, which is different. I've got my did I say poetry already?
You did.
Yes, probably. I already said poetry.
That's
yes, okay. There's more poetry.
There's more poetry.
And
That's right.
I've got a supernatural short story, paranormal fantasy. There is a small thriller. That was when I first started to try horror. So there's a thriller short story, and then the rest of them are all cozy short stories. They all take place in this kind of same world, and there's 3 of those out now. Yes, that sounds about right. Just the ones that live in my head. I'm like, those are done, right? No. And then we've got cozy, grimdark, cozy dark fantasy, standalone, dark fantasy trilogy, fantasy western, and then soon to be nautical horror, I guess, short
Yeah,
story.
why not?
So, so those are the things that exist in my wheel of books.
So those are the ones that you've published. If we're looking at like your, okay, what do I
live
write
on my
next?
actual wheel?
For like what you're gonna like, what's still in the pot on the stove? So many things.
So many things. So many things. I have a whole folder of this is a good idea.
So do I.
And yeah, it's the ones I've solidly worked on that could realistically be published in the next 4 to 5 years. Book 3. Book 3.
You have to put a caveat on it.
Yes. Book 3 of my trilogy should be out. I'm aiming for 2028. I think that would be realistic. And then Yeehaw Dragons Book 2, maybe next year. I mean, it's a novella, so it shouldn't hopefully take too long. The Moby Dick story, which I do have the title already. That was the easiest part to come up with.
Love that. Yep.
So I have that title. That could be... It could be end of 2027, could be beginning of 2028. We will see. The Dragon duology, which I really want, I have started a little bit of it. That would probably be later towards 2030. And then I have a cyberpunk sci-fi novella that I want to rework. It originally started as a short story, and then I overshot. So that one... As
we do.
That one could be anywhere in between all of that. Who knows? And then I have some I have some short story ideas that I would also like to do. So really, at this point, these are the things that are solidly realistically, but I also am open because Hills of Heather and Bone wasn't supposed to exist. And then I was like, I should write that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Cold Silver is the same way. I was like, I wasn't planning on writing this now and starting an entire new series, but here we are. At least you were smart and you were like, this is a standalone.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we'll do that. And then people are like, well, you do other things in this world. So I do have some shorts. Actually, I do have a short story written that takes place in the same world.
Cool.
We wrote it. So my writers group, sometimes because we're broke, we'll do like story exchange for Christmas. So based on some themes, I wrote that for someone. I was like, oh, I could also use this for one of my other things soon, maybe to publish. I think it's done. Did I publish? I don't think I published it. I need to publish it.
Hey,
so I have that.
You have it.
I do have it. I made the cover in Canva and it's done. It's been edited.
So Derry wants to know, there is a link really quickly to Katie's website also down in the description box. So you guys can go over there. I know you have an Etsy shop, which maybe I should have also linked.
You're good. Derry's in Australia, right?
New Zealand.
Okay. I was like, I knew it's on that side of the world. So for international shipping, you may have to pay Bezos, but there is also Ingram Sparks Direct links.
That's true.
So I do have, you'll still be paying someone, but Ingram Sparks does have.
But it'll go, more of it will go to you.
It will go more to me. Yeah. So yes, at this point, I have not opened it up to.
So just message
shipping.
Katie.
Yeah, just message me.
Yeah.
I can do drop ship. I can direct you where to go. I can be found on pretty much all socials under K.E. Andrews or a variation of that. Instagram's usually where I'm at the most, but I do have a Facebook and a Twitter and a Blue Sky, which is sad at the moment because I don't look at it. It's there. It exists.
It exists.
Yeah. So that's the wheel, and that's what the timeline looks like. I'm like, I could be optimistic, but
I wish you had something to work on. You know, I feel bad that.
I do have stuff to work on. Am I working on it? No.
No.
I just
I feel that. I
got to finish editing other people's works first.
Girl, you need to say no and work on your own stuff.
Yes. Can you pay me to write my stuff? That'd be great.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That's the hard part, is we don't get paid until after it's done, which is really annoying. Trials of being an indie author, I guess. But, well, Katie, we, as always, could talk books for 8 hours nonstop. But thank you for hanging out with me tonight. This was long overdue, and I was really excited to get a chance to catch up with you, because I feel like we've sort of been passing ships for the last year or two, and it was lovely to get some actual sit-down time with you.
Derry, technically writing is bubbling
insanity. 100% same
It
thing. You
is,
said the same thing twice.
No sane person becomes an author. Like, you chose homework for the rest of your life, and you talk to people in your head. So
you're not supposed to tell them that.
They don't hear the voices. They don't hear them.
Oh, that's not a normal person thing, I don't think.
I see all of them. They're real.
Yeah, my characters are totally real. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad. And we should definitely I'm very excited to see what your next couple of years look like in terms of releases. And
me too.
Right? We never know.
It's news to me.
Like Andrew Meredith, I think, has the next like 10 years of his author life completely planned out with like timelines and everything. And I'm like, good, you know what? More power to you.
Like I knew about the Bard one, and then he's like, oh, I got this Baker's Dungeon one. I'm like, oh,
yeah, he's got 4 in the Sideways. And, he's got Collation. He's got
Needle and Leaf. He's got the 3rd one coming out for Kickstarter.
That one came out earlier this year. But it's like,
I need to read that one. That's the other one I need to read.
How do you know though? Exactly.
You are just very committed. Remember, this man has the moon cycles down on a spreadsheet. So
I know.
This is the man we're talking about.
Wild.
I'm like, I don't know what day it is today. So.
Is it summer, winter, autumn? I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, thank you for joining me this evening. And for everybody either in the chat or if you're watching on replay, you're going to want to go down in the description box below us, and there's a link to Katie's website where you can check out of her personal work. And also there is a anthology Kickstarter pre-launch link to an anthology that she's in with 30 plus other indie authors. There's horror, there's fantasy, I think I saw romance stories involved as well. So a whole bunch of variety with a whole bunch of different indie authors that you can check out. And you're going to want to go follow the Kickstarter pre-launch page so you can get notified when it goes live on September 1st. Yes, September 1st.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in the chat. As always, you're amazing, and I appreciate that you come and hang out and chat with us while we're gabbing. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Go check out Katie's links, and we will see you in the next book or the next video, whichever comes first. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.